Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2013. For the second time this year, a fire at sea has aborted a cruise ship excursion. This time it was a Royal Caribbean ship, the Grandeur of the Seas. The ship had 2,243 passengers on board and a crew of 796. It had left Baltimore on Saturday. And apparently at about 2:50 a.m. on Monday, a large fire, which according to pictures that have been shown, consumed several decks of the stern of the ship, forced the ship to come into port into the Bahamas. From there, Royal Caribbean is paying for charter flights to fly the passengers back to Baltimore. It's not known what caused the fire. It was emphasized that the ship did not ever lose power. Apparently, the passengers were forced to their muster stations, but nobody had to evacuate the ship. It was a bit of a scary situation. People had to have their flotation devices in hand. Down in Florida, some news over the weekend from some of the local Florida papers about Citizens Insurance Company. Last week, Citizens had voted 3-2, their board did, to shed 60,000 policies, many of them down in South Florida, in what some are calling to be a questionable deal. Policies were sent to a new company called Heritage Property and Casualty Insurance, which is less than a year old. The company has made donations in the six figures to the re-election campaign of the Florida governor. The deal calls for Citizens to pay about $52 million to Heritage, or half of the premium dollars that would have been collected from these 50,000 or so policies. Other companies who have done these takeouts have agreed to absorb Citizens' policies without having any payment. Citizens has a very big surplus, approximately $6 billion, the result of not having had a hurricane in Florida for the past several years. There has been a push to depopulate Citizens because of fears that it would not be able to cover claims in the event of a huge hurricane hitting the state. The people who are complaining about this particular deal say we are giving up a lot of surplus that could be used in the event of the storm. An interesting thing is the way Citizens is managing this deal. In this deal, as well as an earlier deal, the payments are being structured as backdated reinsurance agreements, where Citizens essentially pays the new company to cover losses on certain policies over a specified period of time. Since the period of time is in the past, it's already occurred, the new company can actively select policy with no losses, in effect making the deal risk-free. According to Citizens, some private companies need special incentives before they will agree to take over policies, and Citizens' record surplus allows it to provide a cash buffer to smaller private firms. Without the transfers, the newly formed companies likely would not have enough capital to acquire Citizens' policies. With low reserves, they could go belly up after a major hurricane. Very interesting. We're going to look at this much further, I assure you. News from the west coast of Africa say that pirates have hijacked a fuel tanker off the coast of Nigeria's oil-rich southern delta, kidnapping foreign sailors in the region's latest attack. The tanker was the MT Matrix 1, happened Saturday off the coast of Bayelsa State. Chinese hackers, according to the Washington Post, have gained access to the designs of many of the U.S.'s most sensitive advanced weapon systems. The Post cites a report prepared for the Defense Department. Compromised weapon systems designs include the Advanced Patriot Missile, the Navy's Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense System, the B-22 Osprey, and the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. The report does not accuse the Chinese of stealing the designs, but says that the designs of more than 24 weapon systems have been compromised. Meanwhile, in Australia, the government of Australia say that Chinese hackers have allegedly stolen blueprints for the Australian government's new spy headquarters. President Obama is meeting in 10 days in California with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Chinese government has continued to insist it does not conduct cyber espionage in the U.S. India's national reinsurer, General Insurance Corporation, is looking to buy a Lloyd's syndicate as a stepping stone to achieving its ambitions of being one of the top 5 reinsurers in the world. According to the Times of India, its chairman says we need to be in Lloyd's as a member, as this would provide us with a platform to operate in 60 countries around the world. We're looking at buying out some syndicates that need capital. This is not good news. The United States apparently relies on 2 weather satellites orbiting both poles respectively for its weather forecast. But the one that focuses on eastern North America and the western Atlantic has stopped working. The Weather Service said that what they've done in response is they've broadened the band of the other satellite, but with a bigger range, the accuracy of the data is likely to take a big hit. The next weather satellite launch is not until 2015. Washington Post reports hiring is frozen at the National Weather Service because of sequestration at the beginning of what's expected to be a pretty lively hurricane season. It could take anywhere from months to years before the Weather Service gets everything back to normal. The General Accounting Office has recently cited one of the top 30 challenges facing the federal government being fixing the weather satellite. It's going to make events like the recent Oklahoma tornado harder to predict. Well, welcome back from a 3-day weekend if you're in the U.S. or the U.K. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.